If this only had, here's the SR is a missed opportunity with the lack of performance and lack of engagement. Okay. Paddle shifters on a CVT, give me a break. This looks really nice. Nissan just revealed the new Sentra, and we're going to talk about where Nissan could have improved with the new Sentra. I've made 2 videos recently after 2 redesigns from Mazda and Lexus, the new ES, the new CX-5, and talking about how while there are improvements, it does seem that there are a lot of missed opportunities to make the product substantially better. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to break down the images and the details of the new Nissan Sentra. If you're excited that the Sentra has carried on and has been improved, hit that like button. If you want to see more of this sort of content when there's a new redesign, if you want me to cover it, I will discuss it here on the channel. So guys, let's get into the new Nissan Sentra. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't give you a walk around, is literally at the exact same time of 2 other events, the Prelude being one of them. And I know several journalists were literally just hopping studios from Nissan to Honda. I had to get home, and I figured I would just, the Sentra, as much as I love Nissan, just watch my review on the Infiniti QX80. All right, as much as I love Nissan, they have their faults, okay? And the Sentra, no one's really going to care that much on my channel if I just give you a walk around. All right, so from the comfort of my own home, I can give you guys a little bit more of a marinated response instead of just giving you details and press kit stats, like 40 years in production, over 6.5 million sold. It is always a bit of a red flag when I go through a new car's press kit that the last thing that is mentioned with, bold font, it's not safety, it's not design, it's not tech, it is dependable, proven powertrain. It's proven to be around for a while, this powertrain, and it has proven in my testing to be quite good, but it still has that Jatco CVT. And that is still that has that stigma to it that's going to push people away. They've had these CVTs from now. You might be saying, Kirk, they've fixed the CVT blunder. They're more reliable now. They last a lot longer. And that might all be true. But when you hear Nissan CVT, people cringe. They run as far as they can a lot of the time. Okay, that doesn't stop me from reviewing the Nissan Kicks with this exact same powertrain, the 2-liter naturally aspirated with 150 horsepower, okay, and 146 pound-feet torque. That doesn't stop me from enjoying it when I drive it. It's very fuel efficient and it's very perky and responsive. But Nissan just has nothing on their entry level or their lower, should I say, their cheaper powertrains to replace the CVT. And look, they're not the only one to blame for this. You have Honda using a CVT. I just reviewed, well, I can't talk about the Corolla Cross, but stay tuned for my review on the new 26 Corolla Cross. But if you look at the Corolla LE that I reviewed recently, it has more power than this. But actually, Nissan's powertrain is more responsive. Okay, so 0 to 60 might not be as good on a Sentra, but in all other cases, this CVT is more perky and will give you actually the power that you're asking for when you ask it. Where Toyota's CVT with the true first gear, it's just programmed to suck all the life out of it. Watch my Corolla Apex review as well. It's just, I will give Nissan credit where credit's due, and their CVT, albeit tarnished with a bad reputation, has been one of the better CVTs from a driver's perspective. Regardless, this is not getting anyone excited. Now, it is unfortunate that there is no hybrid. This is it. This is the only powertrain, 2-liter. And it's going to be tough for people, in my opinion, to jump on this if we don't have pricing yet, if Nissan prices this a little too high. All right. Now, one thing that does get my interest, because the Sentra does handle well, and it is on the same platform. You do have a multi-link in the back still, independent rear, and you have struts up front, but the Sentra is 6% greater or has better rigidity by 6%. So I'm really, really happy about that. They've also reduced vibration through the steering wheel, which is going to give you a more luxury feel to it. They've also given us new shock absorber valving to help better mute impact harshness from bumps. Finally, engineers reduced the size of body openings throughout the vehicle to help reduce sound levels. So they've made it a better car. There's no doubt about that it is a better car from an NVH level, from a handling level. But again, the powertrain is just going to hold this thing back, at least, you know, for the enthusiasts. And here's the issue. Okay, this is the powertrain on the SR. No manual transmission option. So let's get into the images of the SR. This is a good segue. Okay, here's a trunk, you know, and this press release talk about how low the trunk opening is so you can get things in. I like the motion on the side. Blacked out roof line, something you typically see in crossovers like the Leaf or the Kicks. The little black bezel down below. A little spoiler in the back. We actually had the design leak from China on the front end, but we didn't see this SR's front end in the leak. So let's pull it up a little bit closer while this is in motion. Not a good image. You got that kind of light bar effect here. This is what the V-Motion grills evolved into, and it's a little bit like... It's almost too much like how Lexus went all in with the spindle grill. They just made the whole front end of the car spindle grill, and that's what this SR Sentra has become. Is it as distasteful as the spindle grill? I don't know yet. Maybe I have to see it in person. I'm not a fan, though, of the SR's front end. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I think Nissan could do better here. Amber turn signal's nice. I'll give them that. But again, you're going to have to spend top level pricing to get that cool amber turn signal. Now, look at the rear end here. This looks like the Accord back end. Am I seeing things here? Does this look like the rear end of the Accord? Kind of. Certain angles it does. It looks a little bit like the Nissan Leaf 2, if I remember right. Okay. Doesn't look bad. But in an SR trim, I want these badges blacked out. And they're not. And they're not. At least I have a fat exhaust tip. Well done, Nissan. I know it's a joke. It's a joke of an exhaust tip and the fact that you have 149 horsepower. But it looks good. From the back, it looks really nice. Just need to black out those badges on this SR trim. And I do like this orangey red paint color. I know that's not the official name for it, but SR, okay, let's get on the inside. I really liked the inside of the old Sentra. You have a little Sentra badge here, if just in case you forgot what you were driving. Orange stitching is going to be synonymous on the SR. A little vertical strip for SR here too. Doesn't look terrible. Nissan has some of the most comfortable seats. This is the new tailor fit that I tested in the brand new Leaf. It's a fantastic synthetic material. Wonderful. Really, really soft, comfy. You sink into it while still being supportive. Really, really like it. This shifter looks cheap, but man, do I love this steering wheel. This is... Can I get a bravo? Oh, man, this is a similar sort of design I just got out of in the QX80. But the QX80 has these ugly, glossy black finishes on the steering wheel with, they're not touch capacitive, but it's like a touch panel that you have to move. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I wish was on the QX80. They still have the rotary dial like the QX80, which is a $100,000 pickup truck SUV, body on frame SUV. It's amazing. This steering wheel is a home run. Well done, Nissan. Really, really happy with the physical buttons here. I honestly couldn't ask for a better steering wheel. I like how open this is. You can put your hand anywhere on this fat meeting steering wheel. I like resting it on this wide bottom. That's what she said, or he said, I don't know. But like the baseball stitching is amazing here. Really well done. And that's where your hands are going to be most of the time driving a car. It's going to be on the steering wheel. And Nissan knocked it out of the park. Yes, I get really jazzed up over steering wheels. Okay, really, really well done. Now we have two 12-inch screens here. whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's nice. Everything has a touchscreen and a big MID, but this is not standard. In fact, I don't have images of what the standard screens are. I would imagine it's a 7-inch screen here, maybe with analog tachometer and speedometer. Maybe I should read the press release real quick. The 12.3-inch center infotainment screen is standard. So I don't have confirmation of what the base screen is going to be behind the steering wheel, but I would assume it's the 7-inch screen, maybe with analog tach and analog speedometer, which I'm more than okay with. All right, we're still on the SR's interior. All right, good vent placement here, heated steering wheel, no ventilated seats. All right, not even the Nissan Leaf, which is going to cost a lot more than this, is available ventilated seats stateside. Okay, well, here's a miss. Couple misses here. All right. Well, happy with where the vents are. I like the shelf, so you can stabilize your hand with this touchscreen. Great volume knob here. Camera button as well. Yes, this does offer a 360 camera. This touch capacitive panel screams cheap to me. So here's the thing. They nailed the steering wheel with real buttons. But if you want to change the climate control, this is not good. This is probably the worst I've seen from Nissan. Unless you're resting your hand on the shifter here, it's going to be hard to stabilize and hit these touch capacitive buttons. And guess what? Unless it's, and I haven't tested yet, and maybe I should watch my friends' videos that have got hands-on with this vehicle. Unless it is actual, you have to depress it like you have to do in the QX80's touchscreen. Unless it's like that, you're going to be accidentally hitting buttons all the time. So I don't want to roast it too hard without testing it, but I would rather have physical buttons. I'd rather have rotary dials. This is not the trend we want to see. Okay. Shifter, well, it's changed and it's just kind of a miss. Again, I wish for an SR, give me a manual, right? Give me a manual or give me a 6, 7 speed, 8 speed, 9 speed, 10 speed. I don't care. Give me any sort of automatic transmission. A lot, like as long as it's programmed well, unlike the Murano's 9 speed. It's just a missed opportunity. Okay, the SR gives you questionable looks, a great steering wheel, but is the interior moving the needle for me? Of course not. The steering wheel is, and that's about it. So let's talk about the design of the SL model. And there are 4 grades, S, SV, SL, and SR. This, holy shnikes. Well, there's no Infiniti sedans anymore. Of this only here's the SR is a missed opportunity with the lack of performance and lack of engagement. Okay, paddle shifters on a CVT, give me a break. This looks really nice. Okay. The whole front end looks a lot better. It's not dripping with glossy black plastic. Okay. This is a really nice looking front end. I have a better angle here, I think. Yeah. Look at that. This is a sort of design we saw coming out from China, but it was like a low res image. This looks really, really nice. Really upscale. And I like the motion on the hood, the body lines. I like the little fender arches here to give it some extra detail. All right, so well done with the SL design. I really want to know what the lesser models look like, but again, L stands for luxury. So this is a co-flagship. Actually, it's going to cost more than the SR. I'm almost certain of it. Cheap looking shifter here. We do have auto brake hold, driving modes, USBs down there. Again, they're really proud of this trunk. This is a really good looking sedan when you don't two-tone the roof. Give me some real paint on the roof. I like these wheels. I think these are the 17-inch wheels. Base are 16s, and then the SR has 18s. Really nice looking wheels here. They are, okay, are they actually two-tone? No, it's just the shadows. Okay, good. I don't like two-tone wheels most of the time. You can fold down the rear seats. Look at this blue and beige interior. This is very much like the Nissan Leaf I just got out of. Really, really nice interior. These taillights look pretty darn good when they're turned on. Look at this blue. This is great. This absolutely craps, pardon my French, craps all over the interiors from Honda and Toyota in this class. Heck, even the Prius, which is, a more expensive vehicle than this, doesn't have this sort of quality of interior. This is phenomenal. Look at the blue dash, the blue stitch, and we have a little blue ambient lighting here. Blue ambient lighting. Yes, you can get 64-way colorful LED ambient lighting in here. Again, home run with the steering wheel, this time with some silver stitching instead of the orange that we had on the other grade. Look at the detail here. Look at the soft touch on the door, not only on the top but on the bottom, the stitching. And look, they don't have to do this. Okay, Nissan knows how to give attention when they want to, right? They can make phenomenal luxury if they want to. Watch my review on the QX80. It's phenomenal. Blue stitching with silver stitching. They didn't have to have two different colors there. Okay, look at the seat. Look at this cross pattern. These leather seats look incredible. And I'm going to double check to see if it's real leather. SL, no, it has the fake leather, but that's fine with me because I've tested this leather on the new Leaf and it's fantastic. Let's get back into these tailor fit. I keep wanting to say tailor made, but that's like a golf thing. It says, we have tailor fit seats here. I mean, overall, look at even the backseat. They didn't have to give this attention to the backseat. No, there's no pano roof here. No, there's no available all-wheel drive. There's no hybrid. There's so many ways they still can't get a car right. But you know what Nissan can do really well is interiors. And no, these headrests are not removable, which some people are going to throw a fit about. But wow, what an interior. This interior is very in line with the now discontinued Aria, in line with the new Leaf, except the new Leaf seats don't look this nice. This is crazy. You got to keep in mind that this car has to succeed as a Sylphy in China. So we're getting that kind of Chinese market forward design here on the Sentra, and it's going to really benefit this car. So going into this video, I wanted to crap all over the Sentra, and I come out, well, maybe a little bit more surprised, okay? It's going to drive better. It's going to have better luxury. Does it look better? Not in the SR. The SR is just a little too much for me, but this SL, I want to drive it. It might be just a really solid, as long as you can get the price right, a really solid like stealth wealth sort of vehicle, as long as you can live with the CVT. But man, that's a really, really upscale looking front end, really upscale looking interior, and they have the tech here to compete. They just don't have the powertrain. That's the only thing holding Nissan back. All right, whether it's a hybrid, well, in this case, it would be a manual in the SR or just a real automatic transmission or something that has closer to 200 horsepower. Make it competitive against a Civic Si, and this is still laughable. It's all show and no go. All right, you have a sporty car with no sport to it. All right, but man, that SL, I'm telling you, that SL is where it's going to be. In my opinion, for most Sentra buyers. Okay, this is Chinese luxury here for mainstream prices with a pedestrian powertrain. So I mean, again, Nissan so close to just nailing it. That touch panel is a big miss. And they just don't have the powertrains or the R&D to put into powertrains. You know, we do have e-power coming for Nissan, but will it come to a Sentra? My goodness, who knows when it could happen? After 2030? I don't even know if Nissan has even any sincerity of bringing in a hybrid to this car, which the market so desperately is asking for. I think, in my opinion, or at least an option for. All right, so it is what it is. Nissan's always just one powertrain short away from greatness, whether that's, you know, the Leaf, no all-wheel drive available on it, or Nismo all-wheel drive on the Leaf would be sick. All right, no hybrid on the Rogue, or the Murano. Both of them are fantastic, but they're held back by, not that great fuel economy, held back by poor driving experience. And that's no exception here on the Sentra. The good news is, all right, as I segue, maybe I'll play a little B-roll for you guys. The good news is that Nissan, they're not staying put. They still have a busy rest of 2025. 2025, they still have the refreshed Pathfinder. They still have to reveal the plug-in hybrid Rogue, which is a rebadge from the plug-in hybrid Outlander. There's something else in there too, which may have been the Sentra, but there still might be something else that is not I'm forgetting about right now. And then next year is the big one. Their volume seller, the Rogue, is getting e-Power, the 3rd gen e-Power, where it's going to be actually usable on US highways. Really, really smooth, efficient operation in town with impressive fuel economy and electric driving propulsion. We can't wait for the new Rogue, okay? But we're still over a year away, I would say, from it hitting. Let me know, do you like the design of the new Sentra? I do. I think other than the front end of the SR, they've hit a design home run inside and out. It's a very clean, elegant looking vehicle. They've given us the tech. They've improved the safety, which I haven't even talked about. There's like blind spot avoidance collision, which is like a new feature that they're proud about. All right, which typically if you turn into someone while they're in your blind spot, the car shoves you back into your lane, that sort of thing. All right, so yeah. I'll see you in the comments. Has Nissan taken, one step forward and 2 steps back here? Not necessarily. I would say overall it's an improvement, but what it needed to improve upon the most, they didn't do that, and they couldn't do it. They don't have the money to come out with multiple powertrains on vehicles, and they're definitely not going to debut a new hybrid on a Sentra of all cars in the United States. So while in China, the Sylphy version of this vehicle might see some, extended range EVs or something like that, it's just not going to happen stateside. And we're not going to see any SER manual transmission turbocharged Nissan Sentras anytime soon. Not in my lifetime at this rate. So I'll see you guys. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Nissan updates. Nissan, they have quite a few gems in their lineup. The Patrol / Armada, the Pathfinder with the V6, the Nissan Z, the Nissan Kicks. This is just a sedan form of the Kicks. And the new Nissan Leaf. Okay, so this is going to be a solid vehicle, maybe even above solid. If this I enjoy driving as much as the Kicks, if it's priced right, it could make it into a segment. Yes, it could make it this high if it's priced right. Okay, if we look again, Nissan Kicks is somewhere in here. Yep, Nissan right here with the Kicks. Looks good. The new Sentra looks good. Will it be cheap enough? Is it, it's peppy for such an powertrain. It's going to handle well. And well, the Kicks is obviously spacious, but the new Sentra will have good tech. So on paper, the new Sentra could very well be up an A tier with the Nissan Kicks. Time will tell. I'm sure more than likely when I get it in the press fleet, it's going to be the SR, which I'm a little biased against because I'm going to want more performance from a sport trim. All right. Even if they put, I don't know. I almost said a VC turbo, but oftentimes the VC turbos are not programmed right. They're hamstrung by emissions. And so they don't, the CVT is not happy enough to give you the power. So we'll see. I'm happy. I'm excited. Long live the Nissan Sentra. It's good that it's still around. If we look at sales, it sold 152,000 last year. We'll see where it ends up after 2025 is over. It's far from its peak, maybe in 2017 with 218,000 units. Well, actually in the 80s, they were selling about 250,000 at one point. Yes, it's been around forever, over 40 years. Nissan Sentra is still selling in good volume. And will it continue to do so in today's SUV market? I don't know. The Kicks is awfully good. And it's going to take a lot of convincing for a lot of people out there to consider a Sentra over a Kicks. They're both made in Mexico. So anyways, I'll end it there. Thank you guys. Have a great day and peace.